2 hours. That is exactly how long it takes for one specific fruit to start actively lowering your blood sugar. You can find it at any local grocery store. It costs less than a cup of black coffee, and for adults over the age of 60, it might just be the most powerful natural tool you have to fight back against diabetes. But I can almost guarantee you are either not eating it or you are eating it the exact wrong way. And if you are like millions of older adults, you are probably terrified of the fruit aisle. You have been told for years that because fruit contains sugar, it is the enemy. You've been told to avoid it, to fear it, to treat it like a candy bar in a peel. But that is not just slightly incorrect. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of human biology that is keeping your A1C levels dangerously high. There are fruits sitting on your kitchen counter right now that are acting like medicine, repairing your cells and stabilizing your insulin. And right next to them, in the exact same fruit bowl, are fruits that are quietly destroying your metabolic health, spiking your blood sugar, and driving up your fasting numbers while you sleep. And the most terrifying part? The medical establishment is not giving you the time or the tools to tell the difference. Today, that changes. I am going to reveal the top 3 safest fruits for diabetics to eat. Fruits that are scientifically proven to help lower blood sugar fast. And I am going to save the absolute best, most powerful fruit for last. But before we get to the solutions, I need to show you the danger. Because you cannot fix the problem if you are unknowingly pouring gasoline on the fire every single morning. My name is Dr. Marcus Wells. I have spent my career looking at the blood work, the A1C charts, and the daily struggles of patients who are doing everything they are told, yet still watching their health decline. And today, I am going to give you the exact blueprint that a 71-year-old patient of mine named Arthur used to drop his morning fasting blood sugar from a terrifying 165 down to a stable 98. But before we rank a single fruit, I need you to do 2 quick things. First, if you are over 60 and you are actively trying to manage your blood sugar, subscribe to this channel. My entire goal is to give you the deep, detailed explanations that your doctor simply does not have the time to give you during a rushed 10-minute appointment. Second, go down to the comments right now and type one word, the name of the fruit you eat most often. I read every single comment, and your answers dictate exactly what I research for my next video. All right, let's get into the science of why fruit is so deeply misunderstood. To understand why some fruits heal and some fruits harm, you have to understand what happens inside your body the moment you swallow a bite of food. When you are in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your metabolism is not the same as it was when you were 30. Your cells have been exposed to decades of dietary stress. The locks on your cells, the ones that allow insulin to open the door and let sugar in for energy, have become rusty. This is what we call insulin resistance. When you eat an ordinary carbohydrate, like a piece of white bread, it breaks down into glucose. It hits your bloodstream fast. Your pancreas panics and pumps out a massive wave of insulin to deal with the spike. But the sugar in fruit is different. It is primarily fructose. Fructose does not flood directly into your bloodstream to cause an immediate spike. It takes a detour. It goes directly to your liver. Your liver acts as a processing plant, slowly converting that fructose into usable energy. Now, when you eat a piece of whole, fibrous fruit, your liver handles this beautifully. The dense, natural fiber in the fruit acts like a physical net in your digestive tract. It slows down the release of the fructose so that your liver only gets a tiny, manageable drip, drip, drip of sugar. Your liver processes it, your blood sugar stays completely flat, and you feel energetic and full. But here is the tragedy. This is where millions of seniors make a fatal error. When you strip away that natural fiber, or when you choose a fruit that has been genetically modified over decades to be massive, ultra-sweet, and low in fiber, you destroy that safety net. When you drink fruit juice, or when you eat large amounts of high-sugar, low-fiber fruit, that slow drip becomes a fire hose. Your liver is violently overwhelmed by a massive flood of fructose. It cannot process it for energy fast enough. So, what does your liver do to protect itself? It converts that excess fructose directly into fat. This fat begins to accumulate inside the liver itself. This leads to a condition called hepatic insulin resistance. When your liver becomes resistant to insulin, it forgets how to turn off its own sugar-producing factory. So, you go to sleep at night. You haven't eaten a single thing for 10 hours. Yet you wake up, check your glucose meter, and your fasting blood sugar is sitting at 140. You ask yourself, how is this possible? I didn't eat anything. It is possible because your liver, damaged by the wrong types of fruit and the wrong types of sugar, was quietly pumping glucose into your bloodstream all night long. That is why we cannot just say, fruit is good or fruit is bad. We have to look at the exact mechanical properties of the fruit in question. Before I give you the 3 safest fruits that lower blood sugar, I need to urgently warn you about 3 fruits that are universally marketed as healthy, but are entirely responsible for the blood sugar spikes sending seniors to the endocrinologist. Think of these as the danger list. If these are in your kitchen, you need to rethink your morning routine immediately. Danger fruit number 1. Grapes. Grapes are often the go-to snack for older adults. You keep a bowl in the fridge. You pop a few in your mouth while watching television. They seem harmless. They are small. They are natural. But modern grapes have been cultivated over generations to be entirely different from the grapes our ancestors ate. They have been bred to be massive, seedless sugar water balloons. A single cup of red grapes contains roughly 23 grams of sugar and barely 1 gram of fiber. That fiber-to-sugar ratio is a disaster for a diabetic. Because there is virtually no fiber to slow down digestion, popping a handful of grapes on an empty stomach hits your liver with a fructose wave almost as violently as drinking half a can of soda. The skin is incredibly thin, the water content masks the sweetness, and before you know it, you've eaten 30 grapes, and your blood sugar is skyrocketing toward 180. Danger fruit number 2. Dried cranberries and raisins. If you look at the packaging on dried fruit, you will see words like natural, antioxidant-rich, and heart-healthy. Do not fall for the marketing. When you take a piece of fruit and remove all of its water, you shrink its physical size, but you retain 100% of its sugar. A handful of grapes might take you 5 minutes to eat. A handful of raisins, which contains the exact same amount of sugar, can be swallowed in 10 seconds. Furthermore, most commercial dried cranberries and dried cherries are soaked in cane sugar or corn syrup to mask their natural tartness. A small, innocent-looking quarter cup of dried cranberries can contain 29 grams of sugar. If you are sprinkling these over your morning oatmeal, thinking you are making a heart-healthy choice, you are actively sabotaging your blood sugar for the rest of the entire day. Danger fruit number 3. Canned peaches and fruit cups. This is an absolute staple in many senior households because it is convenient, it doesn't spoil, and it is easy to chew. But canned fruit is arguably the most metabolically damaging item in the entire produce aisle. The canning process completely breaks down the structural integrity of the natural fiber. The fruit becomes mushy. That means your stomach does not have to do any work to break it down. The sugar is instantly available. And worse, they are almost always packed in pear juice, grape juice, or light syrup. Even if the label says no added sugar and claims it is packed in 100% natural juice, that juice is purely liquid fructose. You are taking a fruit that has had its fiber destroyed and soaking it in a bath of pure liquid sugar. Eating a fruit cup at lunch guarantees a blood sugar spike and a massive energy crash by 3 p.m. If you have those 3 items in your pantry, grapes, dried fruit, or canned fruit, I am not telling you to throw them in the trash. I am telling you to treat them exactly like you would treat a slice of chocolate cake. They are a dessert. They are a rare indulgence. They are not a daily health food. Now, let's move to the exact opposite side of the spectrum. Let's talk about the medicine cabinet. Here are the top 3 safest fruits for diabetics. These are the fruits that actively repair your cellular response, slow down digestion, and help lower that stubborn A1C. Number 3. The strawberry. Most people assume that because strawberries are sweet and red, they must be packed with sugar. The truth is exactly the opposite. Strawberries have a remarkably low glycemic index of around 41. One entire cup of whole, uncut strawberries contains only about 7 grams of sugar, but provides a solid 3 grams of robust, dense fiber. But the fiber and the low sugar are not even the best parts. The real magic of the strawberry lies in a specific group of antioxidants called polyphenols, and one very specific compound called fisetin. When you eat a strawberry, these polyphenols travel into your digestive tract and actively inhibit certain enzymes. Specifically, they block an enzyme whose sole job is to break down complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. Let me explain what that means in plain English, because it is incredible. If you eat a piece of toast, your body wants to rapidly turn that toast into glucose and spike your blood sugar. But if you eat a handful of strawberries alongside that toast, the polyphenols in the strawberries actually block the enzymes trying to break down the bread. They slow down the entire digestive process of the meal. They act like a traffic cop in your stomach, putting up a stop sign and forcing the sugar from your meal to enter your bloodstream at a slow, safe, manageable pace. To get this benefit, the rule is simple. You must eat them whole. Do not slice them up and cover them in sugar. Do not blend them into a juice. Wash them, keep them whole, and eat them alongside your breakfast. Number 2. The avocado. I can already hear the objections. Dr. Marcus Wells, an avocado is a vegetable. Botanically speaking, an avocado is a single-seeded berry. It is a fruit. And it is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most powerful foods on earth for anyone struggling with blood sugar. Here is why. A typical medium-sized avocado contains roughly 9 grams of carbohydrates. But here's the secret. 7 of those 9 grams are pure, indestructible dietary fiber. That leaves you with a net carbohydrate count of just 2 grams. There is virtually zero sugar in an avocado, but what makes it a clinical powerhouse for diabetics is its fat profile. Avocados are loaded with heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats. When you introduce this healthy fat into your stomach, it drastically slows down gastric emptying. Imagine you are eating a bowl of oatmeal. Oatmeal can cause a moderate blood sugar spike in many seniors. But if you were to eat half an avocado before that oatmeal, the healthy fats coat your digestive tract. They tell your stomach to slow down. That bowl of oatmeal takes twice as long to digest. The blood sugar spike is completely blunted, flattened out into a gentle, rolling hill instead of a dangerous, jagged mountain. Furthermore, clinical studies have repeatedly shown that diets rich in the specific monounsaturated fats found in avocados directly improve insulin sensitivity at the cellular level. They help scrape the rust off those cellular locks I mentioned earlier. Half an avocado, sliced with a little pinch of sea salt and black pepper, is the ultimate midday snack to keep your glucose meter perfectly stable. And now, we reach number 1. This is the fruit I promised you at the very beginning of this video. The fruit that takes just hours to begin working. The fruit that costs pennies per serving, yet performs miracles for the aging metabolism. Number 1 is the blackberry. Let me explain exactly why the blackberry is the undisputed king of diabetic-friendly fruits, and why my patient Arthur credits it with helping save his independence. Everything we have talked about today comes down to a mathematical ratio, the ratio of fiber to sugar. If a fruit has a lot of sugar and very little fiber, it is dangerous. If a fruit has equal amounts of fiber and sugar, it is safe. The blackberry completely breaks the scale. One single cup of raw blackberries contains a massive 8 grams of dietary fiber and only 7 grams of sugar. You are getting more fiber than sugar. That is almost unheard of in the natural world. Because of this incredibly dense fiber matrix, the sugar in a blackberry is essentially trapped. Your body has to work incredibly hard to extract it. It moves through your stomach and into your small intestine at a glacial pace. This means that eating a bowl of blackberries produces almost zero measurable spike in your blood sugar. But the blackberry doesn't just prevent a spike. It actively works to lower your baseline numbers. Blackberries get their deep, dark, almost black color from a high concentration of plant pigments called anthocyanins. These are some of the most potent natural anti-inflammatory compounds ever discovered. When you are diabetic, your body is in a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. This inflammation makes your cells stubborn. They refuse to listen to insulin. The anthocyanins in blackberries travel through your bloodstream and act like a cellular fire extinguisher. They calm the inflammation down. When the inflammation is reduced, your cells suddenly wake up. They become highly sensitive to insulin again. A published study showed that overweight and insulin-resistant adults who consumed blackberries experienced a significant increase in fat oxidation and a dramatic improvement in insulin sensitivity within just a few weeks. This brings me to the story of Arthur. Arthur came to my clinic at 71 years old. He was tired. His feet were tingling with the early stages of neuropathy. His A1C was sitting at 7.9, and he was terrified that he was going to lose his driver's license if his vision started to fail. I asked Arthur to walk me through his morning routine. Every single morning, for 20 years, Arthur ate a bowl of cornflakes, a sliced yellow banana, and a glass of orange juice. Without realizing it, Arthur was consuming over 60 grams of pure, liquid, and fast-acting carbohydrates before 8 a.m. His pancreas was exhausted. His liver was drowning in fructose from the juice. His blood sugar was hitting 200 by mid-morning, and he felt lethargic and miserable all day. I told Arthur to make exactly 2 changes. I didn't put him on a starvation diet. I didn't tell him to eat cardboard. I gave him a simple, practical medical directive. Change number 1, pour the orange juice down the sink. Never buy it again. Change number 2, replace the cornflakes and the banana with 1/2 cup of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt and 1 full cup of whole, fresh blackberries. I want you to understand the profound biological shift that happened in Arthur's body on day 1 of this new routine. Instead of a massive wave of liquid fructose and refined corn flour, Arthur's stomach received high-quality protein and fat from the Greek yogurt. This instantly signaled his brain that he was full. Then, the 8 grams of dense fiber from the blackberries entered his digestive tract. The anthocyanins began to reduce his cellular inflammation. The tiny 7 grams of natural sugar in the blackberries were absorbed so slowly that his pancreas barely had to release any insulin at all. 2 hours after breakfast, Arthur tested his blood sugar. For the first time in 10 years, it had not spiked. It remained remarkably, beautifully stable. 90 days later, Arthur sat in my office. His neuropathy pain had faded to a dull, occasional ache. His energy had returned, and his A1C had dropped from a 7.9 down to a 6.2. He didn't do it with expensive supplements. He did it by understanding how his body processes food, removing the hidden dangers, and using a simple dark berry as his daily medicine. So here is exactly what I want you to do starting today. This is your master action plan. Do not let this just be another video that you watch and forget. You have the power to change your trajectory right now. Step 1. Walk into your kitchen and ruthlessly evaluate your fruit. If you have grapes, dried fruit, or fruit packed in syrup, move them out of your daily sightline. Treat them as a dessert for a special occasion. Step 2. Go to the grocery store and buy fresh strawberries, avocados, and blackberries. If fresh blackberries are out of season or too expensive, go to the freezer aisle. Frozen blackberries are frozen at the peak of ripeness and retain 100% of their fiber and anthocyanin benefits. Just make sure the only ingredient on the bag is blackberries. Step 3. Tomorrow morning, I want you to eat 1/2 cup to 1 full cup of whole blackberries. Do not put them in a blender. When you blend a blackberry into a smoothie, the sharp blades pulverize the fiber matrix. You are destroying the very net that protects your liver. You must chew them. Eat them alongside a protein source, like a couple of scrambled eggs, a handful of walnuts, or some plain Greek yogurt. The combination of protein, healthy fat, and blackberry fiber will keep your blood sugar perfectly flat for hours. Step 4. If you are going to eat a strawberry, eat it whole. Do not slice it up and sprinkle sugar on it. Let its natural polyphenols do the work of slowing down your digestion. Step 5. Start treating the avocado as your secret weapon. If you know you are going to eat a meal that is slightly higher in carbohydrates, maybe you are going out to dinner and having a baked potato, eat a few slices of avocado beforehand. Let those healthy fats prepare your stomach and blunt the glucose spike. And step 6. This is the most crucial step of all. Never ever consume your fruit in liquid form. The moment you turn a fruit into a juice, you strip away its defense mechanism. You take a medicine and turn it into a poison. Choosing the right fruit, like the blackberry or the avocado, is incredibly simple once you know the rules of the game. It is the easiest adjustment you can make to your diet. But here is the reality that I need you to grasp. Arthur's success did not just come from adding the blackberries. It came from eliminating the glass of orange juice he had been drinking for 20 years. You can eat all the blackberries in the world, but if you are washing them down with the wrong morning beverage, you are completely sabotaging your own efforts. The liquid you consume in the first hour of your day dictates how your liver and your pancreas will behave for the next 15 hours. And that is exactly what we are going to cover in the next video. There are 3 morning drinks that most adults over 60 consume every single day, completely convinced that they are healthy, that are quietly raising their fasting blood sugar before they even take their first bite of food. And there are 2 specific morning drinks that can genuinely help lower it, actively repairing your liver while you sip them. One of those dangerous drinks might be sitting on your kitchen counter right now. If you want to continue dropping your numbers the exact way Arthur did and finally take back control of your mornings, that is exactly where we are going next. I am Dr. Marcus Wells. Thank you for trusting me with your time, and I will see you in the next video.